Okay, so this is the learning sprint, which is a 5-day process for academic subjects to get as far as you possibly can in a short period of time. Why is it useful? It's useful because not only do you get the bulk acquisition of the content and the ability to do really well in exams in just 5 days, but you also learn the techniques that you can apply to any other subject. How does it work? Well, this is the whole 5-day process. On the Monday, we unpack the whole problem. On Tuesday, we use accelerated learning techniques to hard code the facts, the vocabulary of the topics. On the Wednesday, day 3, we use a number of different learning techniques where we're basically teaching each other the main concepts. And then on Thursday, we're talking about the procedures. The procedures are actually doing the examination questions. And on the final day, the last day, we do a performance, and that's when we actually say, okay, culminating, can we actually talk through and explain to other people using a teach-back process the concepts, the facts, and the procedures that we've learned. So a couple of things that are really interesting about this. Part of the unpacking process is to do a pre-test on the Monday. This is to establish the baseline, and we, the other end of the week, we do a post-test. And the whole point of this is, what's the difference between the post-test and the pre-test in terms of the student performance? It's really interesting. After that, we do a review and evaluation of the whole process. So just very quickly, I'll talk through the unpacking. It's really important to define the goals for the week, to deconstruct the learning. So we've got to identify the 80-20, the most important things that are going to have the biggest impact. We collate all the resources, the exam reports, the mark schemes, 10 or more fully worked solutions from past papers. We make a map of the week, which is when we're going to work out exactly where we're going to do all the various bits. Which facts are we going to put into these sections? Which concepts are we going to put into these sections? We do a helicopter pass, which is an overview, a level 1, just, what's the overall view of all the subject topics that we're going to do in this week? We ask the experts, we go online, we find a number of different experts for the particular subject who would be available. These could be discussion groups, these could be individuals. We prepare a glossary of terms, and we commit to learning the glossary of terms to make sure that we understand the fundamental basics. And then Tuesday we just go through and we hard code using memory palaces, using memory villages, using journeys to make sure that we make it as easy as possible to understand the basic core, the building blocks of the topics. Wednesday we use mainly the jigsaw, which is where you each group of students learns a different piece of the puzzle and they teach their pieces to the others. So that way you can divide and conquer. You take the whole subject, divide it into small parts and then teach each other. It saves an awful lot of time. In the evening you review the facts on the first day, you review the concepts and the facts on the second day, and the third day you review the concepts, the facts and the procedures. Procedures, there's 2 approaches that we use. One is reverse learning, where you start from the fully worked solution and try and work out, how do they get to this? What do they, just before they got the solution, what do they do? It's a bit like when you play chess. You practice, if you want to become a chess master, you practice at the end. You go with just one pawn and the king, and you just work out the end game, and then you progressively work backwards and work out, oh right, okay, just before I got to this end game, what do I need to do? And this is a really good way of learning exactly how to do the procedures, the exam questions. We then use Feynman practice, where you try to reproduce and try to talk through the procedures. And then we do that a couple of times, and that's all the procedure day done. The Friday, we do about 10 past paper speed talk-throughs. So very rapidly, we get students to talk through how they would solve these problems. We don't spend time with them actually having to do it, because actually writing takes a lot of time. So we can get through 10 past papers, we can then do a mark scheme check to make sure they're okay. We do a mini review, any gaps, and then in the afternoon we do 2 things. The reaction map teach back. So for organic chemistry, this is what we've decided to do. The culminating product is on a whiteboard. Can you reproduce the entirety of the syllabus? And then finally we do the post-test. Okay, and so that's it. That's the 5-day. It's the learning sprint format, and we're very excited about it.